So we have in the studio with us Mrs. Monsurat Babatunde. How are you? How are you, ma'am?
I am fine, thank you, sir.
Now, I want to thank you because I kidnapped you from Ibadan.
All the way from IBC.
I literally kidnapped her from Ibadan. I think my family will now know that she's on air, that I think it's not for rituals, but for. So, briefly, you can, how long ago, when did you get married?
Yeah, actually, I got married, that was 2014.
2014?
Yeah.
And how many children do you have?
The marriage produced 3 children.
Okay. So what now happened? What were the complications in marriage? You didn't see any sign before you got married?
Actually, I saw, but because I wanted not to be back home, so that was why I took the risk.
You were running away from home?
Exactly.
Why?
You know, there was no cordial relationship between, I'm from a broken home.
I'm from a broken.
Okay, so, and my dad is not this type of a man that gives that audience. Once school fees has been paid, what next? So that joy of, I want to be back home was not there. So when I was 7, I thought, it's either I got a job or I was married. And you know, Nigeria is not that visible that after education or your university there will be a job. So I saw marriage. Exactly, I saw marriage as the best option at that time. So that was when I got married to my
Okay, so tell us briefly about what you suffered in marriage.
Alright, actually my ex was married before, and what he made me believe was that his ex-wife had lunacy, that she's mentally depressed. Okay, I believed him because I feel it's not normal to lie on things like that. So he said it was when they wanted to treat his ex-wife that her parents came to pick her. Yeah. So I never doubted him. I went into the marriage and the same thing began to happen to me. Like, he was introducing that, they need to do rukia for me. Rukia is like this chanting of some Arabic words to cast jinn out of one's body. Because I was from a broken home.
Jinn meaning what?
Alijono, like
devils,
exactly.
Demons, and
demons, yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Sorry, jinns. It's a Muslim word.
No, it's an English word.
So maybe they
Jinn,
describe
like
it as a gene of demons. Like they have a problem with demons.
Okay.
So because while I was growing up as the only girl from my mom to my dad, I went through so many trauma, rape, like so many, and fortunately my first child was a girl. So immediately introduced that because before you can stay in this marriage you have to go through this. I was considering what I went through. I don't want my baby to go through that, so I subjected myself to if it's what will make my marriage work, it's fine. So then it began with, I have to cut my hair, you have to inscribe this beret on my head. At night, 8 p.m. at night, always have to take my bath inside one bowl. We would take the water. Yeah, it was like always
you would bath in water and you would take the bath water.
Exactly, yeah.
You would take it with him.
You to take it with him. Yeah. So it was like that. So when it was not 2019, that was January 29, 20.
That's 5 years.
Yeah, later. No, it actually began in 2017. We got married in 2014, and 2015 I had my first child. So 2016 I conceived my second baby, and I had my second baby in 2017. So then that was when this cutting of my hair, taking baths inside and all that began. So my parents were actually in support because they do not want me to leave the marriage as well. In fact, there were even times that my mom would cut my hair for him, just that.
When they cut, he would take the hair?
Of course they will. Yeah. So, and sometimes before they will do the rukia with him, they will say some things and I will lose conscience.
You will pass out?
I'll pass out. After all of the thing, they will ask me, do I know what happened? I'll tell them I do not know. So I will ask what happened. They would tell me that I won't be fit emotionally to know what happened. That it is one mama like that don't want me to stay in my marriage, stuff like that. Because I was always believing him. I thought it was actually rendering me a favor. So 2019, January 29, I came across Olumide Kayode Omosebi's film Agbokolori. So when I watched the film, that day I spoke to myself, right, it is enough. That day I was already carrying my third baby's pregnancy. And however, during my stay there, I was more than 3 times pregnant. I was 7 times pregnant. He aborted 4 for me. It would take me to yes. It would take not miscarriage. It would take me to his sister-in-law, who is a nurse, at his own time to abort the pregnancy for me. That Islamically we cannot do family planning, but if it is abortion under 1 month, it's still allowed.
Why? What was his reason for aborting the babies?
Like, okay, my kid was still very small. Okay, so I think that those were his reasons. So later,
because you had small kids, you had to abort.
So maybe he thought it was helping, but you have a lot on your hands already.
Exactly, my kids were very small. So when I watched that film, Agbokolori, I actually chatted Olumide Kayode up on Instagram. She got back to me and she was so emotional for me. Like, she felt so bad for me. She even sent me 20,000 naira. I mean, because she did a video call with me that day. So she felt so bad. She sent me 20,000 to change my handies when she saw the way I was looking so tattered and kept.
Oh, okay. You were not working?
I was working, but I wasn't making sales at all, because at that time I was selling wares. But I may not even sell 5,000 naira in a month. Let me say in a week. So he will ask his affairs to come and pour some water inside the shop. That it is the demons to attract customers. That it is the demons that have not been making me make sales. So they'll come into the shop, pour those spiritual water. I will still not sell. It got to stage I even switched to selling pepper. So like it was, I just feel it's not spiritual. I was not emotionally fine. I do my business and it's doing very, very fine, and I don't have anybody that will give me anything that will use this to make sales. No, yeah. So when it was after Olumide Kayode Omosebi sent me 20k to get on this for myself, then I called my ex at that time that said, I think I want to go into fashion designing. I want to learn fashion design. He wasn't even at home that day, and he said, okay, with your start, like I was pregnant and the 2 children on, and though we had someone who was assisting me in the house. So he said, will I be able to cook? I said yes, and that was how I got my freedom. So if you had known that, if I began the fashion business or fashion designing, I was already going out mixing with people at this fashion school. We were sharing experiences. So my boss then was advising that I should not allow them to cut my hair again. I was already speaking out. As a woman, I was already speaking out. Again. So each time when I'm back home, he would bring in their fast to come and, so I could not voice out that I am not doing it again, but I'll give him attitude. As a woman now, I'll give him attitude. I was already rejecting, so the next thing was threat to divorce. She understand. Fortunately, I had my child. I spent 4 days at the hospital before I gave birth. While I was on the hospital bed, he was never present. He went to his own town. So he will ask one of his elder brother's member, because his elder brother is all these known preacher around that is using his influence to even intimidate me till I speak. So one of his elder brother's member will come to our house, to the hospital where I was then, while I was about to give birth. They will rub something on my body. So on the 4th day, which was June 7th, when I had my child, so the girl brought something that, I was asked to take this. Then I spoke to my doctor. The doctor said, see, at this stage you can't have that baby alone. You have to go through CS. So which I told the lady that, please help me to tell my husband that I've taken this. That if he asks you that I've taken it. But she went back to tell them that I did not take it. So when it was 4:30 in the afternoon, I was taken to the theater and CS was carried out for me. I had my baby. Fortunately, immediately I had my baby. We got discharged the 3rd or 4th day, and at that time the fashion business was already picking up. despite that people even knew that I just put to bed, they still want to make clothes. So it's really picked up. And at that time, when I knew that, I'd already found my grand, I was not too bothered about him again, and he would choose not to come home. It was only my kids and I that would stay in the house. So until 2020, when he knew that, I've really ignored him, then he planned against me that I have to go to the psychiatric. I was lunatic and all that.
He said you should go to the psychiatric hospital.
Yes. He got a referral letter from the hospital we were using at Ibadan. Then I should get to, because I wanted to save my marriage, I had heard. I even went to this hospital alone, but he dropped me at my father's house in Ede. So before I got to the hospital, I already got a call that he had gone back home to pack the children and also their stuffs to his father's town in Osho State. So when they got there, my children at that time was 6 months. My last baby was 6 months. They were very young. I was frustrated. I was forced to make audios rather, that if I can adhere that I was a bad wife and I was truly mad that he will take me back as a wife. I did all this just to tender evidences at court. He already found.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know. He already filed a case at the court for divorce and as well child custody. I was never present at the court till he got the 3 children to himself. He only served my dad once, and my dad does not notify me. After the first service, the next thing my dad got was the judgment that the custody has been given to him.
What court is that one?
At his hometown, all these maybe customary
course. I'm saying, is that allowed? Are you allowed to have a court proceeding on?
So even later after, because last year when I got the information, I went to his office where he's working. So when I got there, I told him that I found this. Why would I not be there before you get the custody of the kid? So the next thing he said was that the security of his office to be beating me. So that made me went on live video on Facebook. So the video actually went viral and so many people came in.
Wait, let me ask a question. He told you to go to a psychiatric hospital and say that you were mad.
Yeah, and I even subjected myself for all the treatment they were giving to me. And
the hospital was giving you treatment knowing you were okay.
No. At that hospital, it is a separate Ife. They did not do honest. They were just doing more of counseling. Because at that time they knew I was depressed. So they were only counseling me. I was not injected, nothing was done to me. But later, after I left that hospital, he instructed me again. He never appeared, he was not seeing me on phone. He instructed me again to go to one local psychiatric, not even all those are that used to chain people down. I was chained down for good 3 weeks. He never appeared. I was even calling him that, okay, now I'm there. He did not come. And he has already planned with those affairs. They will give me some powder, something to take. I'll take. Once I take those things, I will be unconscious. Fortunately for me, one day I said I wanted to eat myself. Instead of them to give me potty, because it was that simple, they'll give me potty to eat and as well do anything. So that day when I said I wanted to eat myself, so they unchained me. That was how I got my freedom.
You ran?
I ran away.
After being chained down for
3 good weeks. Yeah, I have the picture of where I was chained down there. So later,
and he's going around saying women are lunatics. Does he think
even the present woman in his house is the 4th wife. The first wife left a year plus. I spent 6 years. Another lady he married while I was still there spent 3 months. She said she was lunatic. The 4th one now is there.
Is it that people don't ask questions?
I was not the only one they did. These people has the opportunity to manipulate people, and all these people that claim to be too religious, they are the most wicked human beings on earth. So they hide under religion to maltreat people, and even to the public. Okay.
You were told, this is it. You were told to bathe in a particular bowl. From
2017 that I subject myself to that, I stopped 2019.
We are live.
When I watched, I got Olumide
We are live on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen, at Gnosis_help, GNOSIS_help, streaming live. you could join us there as well. My issue here is, don't you have family? Did you tell your parents? Did you tell, what you are going
through? My mother
through?
used to help him cut my hair now.
When my parents are not bad, but they have the opinion of, if it will make your marriage work, just take
Anything, go to the psychiatric hospital. If
they
it will
not,
make...
they are not again. I'm from the kind of background I have got, and even if they were not in support of me going to the psychiatric, the trauma I went through growing up, I was going to subject, because I don't want my children to go it. See, my 3 children are girls. I actually subjected going to all this psychiatric, cutting of my hair, doing all that, just because I don't want my children to go through rape, to go through stigmatization, to be mentally disturbed in class.
Hold on, please. So, cutting your hair and bathing in a bowl is what will prevent your children?
He said that will make our marriage work because of the psychiatric I was having. I never knew that they were even, it is, maybe he's getting those things for his elder brother, who is all these affairs going around. Because presently now, my ex was even willing to leave my children for me. But his elder brother is the one going against me having access to my children.
Wait.
And my present feeling now is that since they don't have access to me, my hair anymore, my taking of water anymore, they have gotten custody. The custody of the children is not really what they wanted. But now they will be bouncing on my children by taking their water. I'm sure they might not be taking their hair. Because so that it won't be like, it won't be too obvious. But I'm very, very sure they'll...
So, wait, why you see custody of, how old are your children?
My first child will be 8.
And the second child, how old?
She will be 6.
And the third child?
She will be 4.
They cannot give custody of infants.
And at the time my first child was not up to 4. At the time I left, my first child was not up to 4. My second child was 2 years plus. My third baby was 6 months.
Lost custody
6 months.
4 years
They took a 6
since
months.
2020.
Okay, wait. They took a 6 months old child.
That was still breastfeeding. I have a picture here.
Okay, hold on. What customary court is that?
I don't know. I was never present.
What state?
Osun State. We got married in Osun State, my hometown there. But all our life we lived in Ibadan. But so because his other brother, now? I don't know where they are.
Where is your ex-husband now?
My ex-husband is working in Ibadan.
But the children are not with him?
They are with him, but I don't know where he lives.
Okay.
Yeah. Even there was a time he charged me for lunacy act in Ibadan. And when the judge cited me, the judge was like, this woman is not mad. Let her be seeing her children. So I was only seeing my children every Saturday. When it was October 9 last year, his elder brother, that man who is using my hair and the water that is fetching for him, his brother instructed police from Oshobo to come and beat me as where I was seeing my children that I defend this character online.
It's okay. I think
and everybody who came in for me on social media, there are so many people who supported me in Nigeria, and they were not, some of them that were not even in Nigeria. His brother has been using police in Osun State to harass them. In fact, one brother was even imprisoned for 2 good weeks just because of me.
His brother thinks he's a law to himself.
He has been taking laws into his hand, and he has been feeling like, he knows people.
Hold on. So you have not seen your children
since October 9 last year. I've not seen them.
The possibility of this bathing in who will leave their daughter to be bathing in water and the cutting of hair just because they want the child to be married? Will you kill a child, offer a child as a sacrifice to the altar because of that? Now at the end of the day, what happened? Is she married now?
What are your parents saying on this at the moment?
Yeah, initially they still wanted the marriage to work.
But now, all these things
no. When it now got online, I think my dad was now more remorseful. He even apologized to me that he's sorry he made me went through all that. Because at that time, they even won my dad's art against me that truly I was lunatic. And my dad was always telling me that, just agree with them and let them take care of you.
Wow. All right, I'm going to open the phone lines at this point. And run through WhatsApp messages. We have to move really
the whole saga is on Facebook for people who knows me.
We have to move really quickly because of time.
Monsurat Babatunde Abiola on Facebook.
Yes, I run my fashion business too on Facebook.
Okay.
And Facebook people, I thank you all for supporting my business.
So happy.